Welcome back, everybody. We are about to dive into our third and final adventure of this Labor Day extravaganza. But before we do so, as always, we are going to introduce our heroes. Not that these particular heroes require all that much introduction, as these are myth-tier adventurers. As it stands, the people in this adventure, the heroes here, are the strongest, among the strongest at least, in the land of DnDTime. So, without further ado, let us speak now to the true king, Fawkes' sake. Fawkes' sakes. I forgot the S. How's it going, Fawkes?
Oh, hey. This is an emergency. I'm on alcohol. I'm sober. Oh, dear God. Why was it them and not me? Was it because I'm the sword that cuts the heavens? Oh, I feel sick. And that's not even physically possible. I don't even know how. It must be the alcohol withdrawal.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, how's it going?
Fawkes, it seems like you're a little bit... As I said, it seems like you're a little bit out of sorts at the moment. What's going on, Fawkes?
Why? I couldn't say that.
You seem like you're reeling from something pretty extreme that has happened to you in the last few minutes. So, in that case...
Oh, yeah, I'm completely fine.
And I'm sure. In that case, let us introduce another hero whilst you take a brief moment to gain your internal bearings. Next, we have another of our most fabled, or I guess fabled is the wrong word to use, as you are the most mythic of adventurers, as we have Fluffy, the now named Master of None. How are you, Fluffy?
Dealing with the owning of property, it's very strange.
I imagine your property comes with a little bit less baggage than a lot of others, as you know, it's more of a territory and just not a lot of people, go into it that aren't welcome. But Fluffy, how do you like it? What kind of complications has there been with having to manage property?
Well, I don't like that I have to actually own it. Nature has been around long before we were here, so to own it seems so prideful.
I suppose that is true, but it must at least do you some good to know that by going through what to you is probably a farce that you could even put your name on it, by going through that, you do at least guarantee that this stretch of nature is preserved and protected.
Yes, I'll try my best with my druidic magic to make sure things flourish and grow here.
I am glad to hear that. And
growth spell.
I feel like that whole conversation was happening in kind of a background video where it then showed Fluffy just going around and tending to some of the gardens and trees and plants in that region. Is there any particular, new garden or growth that you're in particularly proud of?
Yeah, they gave me some maple lollipop plants, which I'm fairly happy with. It saves me having to go out and forage for berries when there's a nice little plant near the front pot that I can just pick a lollipop and just eat it as my way to Bartholomew's.
That is certainly a much more convenient mode of travel.
It takes me about 6 hours walk to get there. It's so short.
Well, you are now at the end of your long 6-hour pilgrimage. And of course, partway there, you did find yourself transformed into your baby form. But we will return to more of that in a moment. Next, we have Selcress of House Ishal, also known as Selcress of the Frozen Crown. Selcress.
Yes, you may bow before me.
When you woke up this morning, Selcress, you actually found yourself transformed into a baby, which in the grand scope of being an elf, you pretty much already were. So you're a couple inches shorter. You've lost a year or two, but you're almost the same as you were. You're just a little bit confused.
Yeah, I didn't really understand it. I thought maybe one of our rival houses was playing a trick on me or something. But then I had Doppel just go and interrogate one of them, and I guess it wasn't the truth. So I figured that old man wizard, something to do with it.
That may have been the case. Well, and apparently, even though he may not have anything to do with it directly, he does need your help in solving it, as you've received the summon to Myth-Tier
Of course
Adventure.
he does. He always needs my help with things he causes. He's a dumb old man.
I mean, that's a fair statement to make. But Selcress, how have you been enjoying your own kind of fortress? How has life been for Selcress of the Frozen Crown of recent days?
Well, I've been reforming it into my own kingdom. I'm starting to get some subjects, peon subjects, but still subjects. Been having some ice golems help me with the heavy lifting. Levi's been a big help too.
I imagine. And does Levi have his shiny new collar upon today?
Oh, yes, he does.
And she pulls him around and proudly showcases his collar and her matching bracelet.
Excellent.
You're lovely.
I certainly do as well. Welcome tonight, Selcress. And last but not least, we have Lance Silverblood, the Silver Hierophant. Lance, how are you?
Well, all things considered, fairly well. Hopefully Bartholomew knows a bit more about what's going on at the moment.
Yes, I can hear the little bit of the upturn in your voice as you have now, like everyone else, assumed your baby form. Lance, I guess my first question for you is, were you excited to see that your daughter passed her her fabled tier adventure?
Indeed, I was quite proud. I had paid a bit of extra money to view the showing of it, and I must say she was spitting some mad fire, as well as that DJ Boot she was with. Or I suppose DJ isn't quite the word, but that young bunny folk does have quite the talent for it.
Indeed, he certainly does. But Lance, I suppose more about you. How has managing your entire kind of temple to Selune been going?
It's been quite busy lately. Unfortunately, haven't been able to do quite so much adventure in full Bartholomew, though at this point I suppose that's well and good. When we get called, it's usually things that are of a much more disastrous nature, as frequently comes with Bartholomew.
He is
Yes.
an old man who causes trouble.
I suppose that is the case today as well, as all of you sort of knew that there was going to be something wrong when you woke up and found yourselves changed so drastically, or I guess not quite as drastically in one particular individual's case, but changed so drastically in age. And before long, before long, you find yourselves standing before Bartholomew's shop. As you enter in, you can see Roger and Bartholomew both. Bartholomew kind of stands behind the counter. Again, he's very exhausted. He kind of leans heavily on it, but he has this strange looking metal rattle that he holds in his hand at this point, and kind of looks to the group of you. I see that you were able to make it here at this time. And we are in dire straits, and this is actually going to be coming directly out of our pocket. You see, this is largely my fault that we're even in this position.
Isn't everything largely your fault?
I think that seems a bit harsh.
Selcress, Fluffy, Lance, how's it going?
Hey,
It's been a while since I've seen you. Yeah, I had a drink and I mellowed out. Helps me forget about the past. I feel so much better. Oh, what's the deal today?
Aren't you a little
Fawkes up!
This is a very serious thing, guys. We really need to get going on this. I don't want to be a baby.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
that's a good question. Why
Oh, shit, I'm a baby! That happened.
How did you not
It's
know
not a
this?
huge change for me, so...
Wait, is it legal for me to... Oh my god, no!
No, it's legal here. Don't worry, Fawkes.
Oh, good.
Indeed.
You want a baby beer?
There is no actual drinking age in the land of DnDTime, as everyone knows. But
Precisely.
Are you sure that's quite irresponsible?
It's not my
Yeah,
decision
there's
to
studies.
make. And Bartholomew starts kind of
okay.
shaking. Bartholomew kind of starts shaking that big heavy metal rattle that he has kind of laid across the counter of his shop. And you see, as it does so, it makes sort of this very resonant sound. And you see kind of appear in sort of a scrying location. You see a vision of a distant location, and that would be presumably your destination here, as Bartholomew speaks to you and says, "We have obtained through the abilities and competence of some other adventurers this, the Rattle of Justice. It will reveal the location of the particular individual that it is that we are looking for. Roger, would you care to explain the nature of the Rattle of Justice a bit more?"
I mean, yeah, basically it used to be a mace of justice, and it can track down any evildoer basically anywhere across planes. Doesn't matter as long as you know their name. Thankfully we know who did this. It was a wizard. He goes by the name Jemmery the Meanypants. Yeah, no, I know. Well, he turned us on to babies, so like he's
The
got
Meanypants.
And his pants, I am certain, are particularly mean. Normally, he tries this to take over the world in some extent or another every year. Normally, I am able to stop him.
No, that's my job.
Roger, it has been a very long couple of weeks for me, and I'm very tired, and I have not had time. And, well, this is what myth-tier adventurers are for, isn't it? So you'll get paid appropriately, and you'll go and deal with this for me, which I'll appreciate.
I hate the last time this happened.
Where we're headed, Bartholomew?
And as he was kind of shaking the rattle, you've suddenly seen a kind of a scrying circle appear. This will reveal the location. And you can see reflected in this scrying circle what appears to be, you're not sure, this might be somewhere a little bit off the Crimson Coast in the land of DnDTime. Maybe it isn't. It appears to be on a kind of a small island. And on that island is a massive and apparently active volcano. You can see palm trees kind of sprouting up around the outside of the base of it. And at the center of it, you can see a great sort of metallic door that appears to lead into it, smoke kind of pluming from the inside. And he does kind of look at it and he goes, "It's a good-looking lair."
Pretty sweet volcano lair.
Nature's pretty beautiful, ain't it?
I mean, it's not as cool as my lair.
I mean, not even close.
Right, totally.
What's your lair? What, you have a lair?
Yeah, I have a frozen keep. It's pretty awesome.
Fluffy, you got a lair too. You got one when you got to Myth-tier, remember?
Yeah, but it's not really. It's not a lair. I don't know the dwarf things. It's a place where like a symbiotic relationship sort of thing.
Well, you call it what you want.
Right.
It's still a lair to me.
Indeed, I think that is the right way to think about it. I mean, this is my lair.
Vox, why do you still look so tall? You're very
I think I
tall,
might have
baby.
just been born like this.
That's really weird.
Yes, I don't know. I can't remember. I've been drinking too much.
That is certainly very curious, but I suppose there's no more time. I don't have a teleportation spell in me. Roger, could you do this one?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna make a pink portal, and that I think I can get you pretty much spot on to that door. I really don't know what's beyond it though. So good luck.
All right, bye.
And I advise you all, Jemmery is a very powerful wizard. He knows all manner of spells and incantations, much like myself. However, well, he chose to just extend his life as a baby because, well, that means he cannot be killed. You're battling a foe that cannot die. So keep your wits about you.
I can't kill anything anyway.
We're just a bunch of babies, and you want us to go fight like an immortal wizard? Okay.
An immortal wizard baby. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, then I guess it's
Aren't we immortal too? I mean,
Right. With the baby thing.
You'll have that going for you, but if he catches you in your lair and captures you, then you'll just be immortal and held prisoner forever with nothing to do as babies. So that's not a good thing.
yeah, Bartholomew can't resurrect you if you don't die, so there's a serious detriment if you lose.
Well, at least there's no drinking age in DnDTime, so.
Oh, anyway, I'm gonna make this portal now. Good luck, everyone.
bye.
Bye.
One head around and a large pink mass appears and forms an almost perfect circle upon the wall. All
Guess
right,
I'll just
all
put everybody on my shoulders.
jump through. So Selcress is on one shoulder and then Lance and Fluffy are on the other.
I want the head. I want to be on top of the hair.
No, I am the highest one. I am the one who sits on the top.
Well, Selcress,
The only fair way to do it is rock, paper, scissors.
No.
All right,
I'm
Selcress, you can
tired.
sit on my head.
Stop acting like
I
children.
do paper.
Here,
Still
suck
on
on.
his head.
I'll hand you my copper flask as well.
Oh god.
So does the collective you step through the portal?
Calm down. Yeah, let's go there.
While they pass through, she goes,
You know, I could have sworn I died several times before.
Oh, that happens to me all the time. I get you.
Fawkes, are you a baby too?
Apparently. I don't know.
That is terrifying to think of the implications of this for you.
Yeah, I'd rather not think about it.
He's
I'll take another
fine.
swig.
I can become a cloud. I hear that's fun.
And as you say the words, I could become a cloud, you walk through the portal and find yourself now on kind of a beautiful island coast, palm trees, and you can feel kind of a light, cool tropical breeze floating through, and you are in what is decidedly paradise, were it not for the kind of plumes of smoke that you can see pouring up ahead in the distance outside of the massive volcano lair of presumably Jemmery the Meanypants.
All right, open the door.
You're not quite at the door, but soon you will be through exposition as you kind of move your way through the forest, kind of up a long and winding kind of trail up the mountain. There are points where you have to kind of jump over kind of thin trickles of lava that are rolling down from the top of it until you stand before a great iron door.
Oh, I've just had a great idea. What if we make Jemmery the Meanypants become a liar? Then his pants will be on fire and he won't have any pants to be a Meanypants.
I'm not sure it works like that.
That logic doesn't seem to make sense, but if you're sure.
I mean, if we throw him into some lava, then maybe they'll be on fire.
What if he doesn't even wear pants? Could he just wear a
It's
diaper?
in his name, Fawkes.
I don't know. I haven't seen him before.
He wouldn't just have a name that up and lies to us. That'd be so
Then
mean.
what he mean?
Then his pants would already be on fire.
Yeah, then I'll set them on fire if they're not.
I think it's gonna take all of my stuff in the store. I could turn it to like something larger if we need to.
This seems like peon work, so get to it.
Go, fire up. I'll have my polar bear by it.
Your polar bear
right.
attacks the door.
Yes. You summon Farva. You watch as. Are you finding a steed here?
Yeah.
So as you as you find your steed, you watch as summoned into existence now is a massive polar bear, which just appears and starts rampaging and raking its claws at.
Oh, good. You didn't turn into a baby too.
No, seems to be full size. Your polar bear appears to be unaffected, very much like you in this particular instance, as it kind of pushes at the door.
It's good because he literally just grew up, or she, and if she were to turn back into a baby again, it'd be another
6 more months. So you, as the polar bear is kind of raking and clawing at the door, it kind of just... there's kind of a steady grinding of stone with each hit as these strikes are kind of pushing at and slowly pushing this door open, which opens kind of down the middle into kind of two sides.
If I ride a person, can I go ride the polar bear?
Sure.
All right. Fluffy kind of hops on the polar bear's back, and you continue and march into this space up ahead, which is kind of a large sort of vaulted chamber. On either sides, in the four corners of this kind of squarish room, there are these little waterfalls of lava that seem to trickle down and form in pools at the sides of the room. On the opposite side, you can see another one of these great steel doors, which appears to be sealed. And at the center of the room, you can see what appears to be a very thin pole that rises up out of the center, made of solid steel, and rested around the room in various kind of in various sort of colors and sizes are what look to be rings that are kind of flat and elongated on the side with sort of holes in the center of them. And as you enter into this space, you hear kind of a little crackle of static, and you look up, your eyes are drawn to the corner of the room where you can see a small intercom, and a voice speaks through it.
What? How did you find your way to my volcano lair? Why? It doesn't matter how you find your way here. You're never gonna get past my terrible puzzles.
You know, I've changed my mind. It's a little tacky in here. She says.
No, my lair is awesome. It's so good. How did you know over this waffle?
Well, I'm more of an ice person.
Your secret lair sucks. I don't like it.
Oh, actually, nature's lava is its most powerful weapon. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, you know what? Lava's part of nature. What are you? You're the baby.
You're a baby.
Yeah, but you're a big dumb baby.
Are you just gonna take that?
Pretty much. I'm quite happy on the
You're a
polar
big dumb baby.
Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. You'll
That's
never
what
be
you
able
are.
to stop my terrible ritual. I'm going to keep
yeah?
always gonna be a baby forever.
Why don't you just watch me?
No, I'm not.
No,
I don't want to.
no, you
You're
can't.
afraid to watch us, aren't you?
I'm not
You-
afraid. I'm not afraid of anything.
Are you
No,
sure,
man.
Brady Pants?
No, I'm not scared. I'm not a baby. You're a baby.
Scared? You
You're
listen to him?
You're literally a baby. I'm gonna stop talking to you.
Hey,
And you hear kind of a quick of static, and the intercom seems to go dead. But yeah, you're now just in this room, big door on the other side, and then these kind of various colored steel rings strewn about the space, along with the pole that sticks out from the floor.
What's the barrier to take one of those steel strings and pull it?
You want to go over and grab onto one of the rings. You said you want to pull it. All right, yeah, they're just kind of like, they're not connected to anything. They're just kind of loose on the floor, and they're relatively large. But you kind of go on and grab onto it. It has almost like a kind of they look steel from a distance, and the pole at the center of the room is, but the rings themselves feel kind of soft. The one that you're grabbing onto, it's maybe 4 feet in diameter and a very bright, kind of bright green color, and it has like a rubbery texture to it.
I don't really know what this is. It's not like a lever. I pulled it. It didn't do anything.
Are they different sizes?
Yeah, they're different sizes. None of them are the same size.
Oh, I know how to do this. Watch me do this.
hey, be a good boy, Fawkes.
Selcress will pat him on the head. Very condescendingly.
Fawkes, what do you do?
I want to order them from the largest to smallest.
All right, you go around and stack the rings onto the tower, from the largest ring to the smallest one, and you hear kind of a ding, kind of a ding sound, and the door kind of grinds open, leading into another chamber beyond you.
Oh, yeah. Figure out my puzzle!
How'd you do
Oh,
that?
it was so difficult. Oh,
It's super challenging.
yes, the agony.
I didn't know how to do it, so I thought it was challenging. Good work, baby man.
Well, you turned everyone to baby. You're so immature.
Well, you know what? You'll never get past my next puzzle. It's way too challenging. It's like 1,000,000 times more challenging than that one. So,
Oh yeah? I bet you can't even count to 1,000,000.
no, I'm turning this
No, we
off
can't.
again. You're dumb.
No, you're
The
dumb.
sound of static again
I
before
can't
you can
wait
say
to
you're
punch
dumb.
him in the face.
I don't think a meanness is the way to do this. It would be
and-
nicer.
He only said the next one's so hard because he couldn't figure it out.
And as you move into the next sort of chamber, you can see that there's another one of these big iron doors. Although the motif, there's still kind of swirling lava, but you also seem like you're in some kind of like aquarium thing, and there are big sharks that are like swimming past among the kind of very thick plated glass along the walls that are just kind of moving about and looking very intimidating in this space. On the far wall, the door itself seems to have 3 very large kind of slots that have been placed into it, and you see 3 objects in the room. The slots are in the shape of one of them is circular, one of them is square, and one of them is triangular. The shapes, one of them is sort of a cylinder, one of the shapes is a cube, and one of the shapes appears to be a triangular prism.
Oh my god, this is impossible. How do we do this?
You'll never get through this puzzle.
You know,
Oh,
I
sharks.
really do think it's tacky now. I mean, sharks, that's just trying too hard.
They're
Run away
really
with
cool. I gave them
Are these
laser
real
beams.
shots?
You gave
wait.
them laser beams.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
And you're
god.
looking at them, and you can see kind of like strapped around some of the sharks. Now that you're looking closer, there actually do appear to be like belt buckles that just have big like laser cannons mounted on their backs.
Hey, it's pretty cool.
What are their
I like
names?
you. You're cool,
Oh.
Fluffy.
I want one.
Thank you, Mr.
That's not fair.
Yeah, well,
Why do you
my
get a
favorite
laser
thing-
shark and I don't get a laser shark,
Well,
huh?
maybe you should get better laser sharks for your layer. My layer is real cool.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, but
Selcress is completely done with
Meanypants.
this.
I got all the laser sharks already. There aren't any more in the world.
Selcress is done with this. She's putting the objects in the slot.
Dinosaurs.
And wait, which one are you gonna put in which slot?
Yes, it's really important.
Oh my god.
Selkers.
Which
Yeah.
one? Selcress.
Maybe this one goes here. I'll put the cylinder in the circle one.
Okay, it
Richard,
slots in.
Oh my god. Okay, how do we do the next part?
Selcress, which one?
They're gonna take the square one and put it into the square slot because yes.
All right, it fits in perfectly.
Oh my god.
There's one left.
Does the triangle
Yeah.
prism have the square bottom, or is it 3 sides on all the sides?
It is 3 sides on all the sides.
Hmm.
Do it, Lance.
No. It's like kind of the it's the triangular prism. So it's a triangle, and it extends outwards in kind of a prismatic way, and then it's a
I wonder
triangle.
how we do this.
I'm
Oh.
starting to think I know why he's so mean. Maybe he just needs a hug.
Why don't you go hug
Try
him?
that, Fluffy.
Yeah, let's all hug him when we get over there.
I'm not hugging him.
So, Chris, we're gonna hug him and we're gonna make up.
No.
Selcress?
Hugging is how you get stabbed.
Does one of you put the triangular block into the triangular hole?
I'm still looking at the sharks.
We'll do
Okay, yeah.
hug mimicry.
Fluffy's overlooking the sharks.
I can tell you.
I once hugged my aunt and she
Oh
stabbed
god.
me because
You should have
She
hugged
was
her
trying to-
tighter so her arms wouldn't be free.
Yeah,
right.
do that.
But the point is, she was trying to teach me never to get too close
Did
to
it work?
anyone.
I don't want any hugs anyway.
Alright. I'll hug Selcress.
No, release me, Peon. Release me.
Join in this group hug.
Oh,
No.
Fluffy, get over here.
Yeah,
We're having bonging.
I'm joining. I'm coming.
No! Help! Someone!
There's
you all have a group hug.
there's a great Groot hug.
Hey, Jeremy, I bet you want part of this, don't you?
Levi, you traitor!
You could just feel him hugging her on the top of her head.
In the hole!
All right, you put the triangular thing in the hole, and Selcress through the hug, you like stick your arm out and barely manage to stick the prison in the hole. And as you do so, the door kind of slides open, and you hear once more the voice of Jeremy, Jemmery, the Meanypants.
Oh, hey, that works.
No, you're never gonna get through the next one. It's impossible. It's too good.
That's what you just said about this one.
Those ones were actually really easy. I just wanted to intimidate you and lure you.
What are you talking about?
These ones were actually really hard. I just like them myself.
Okay.
Oh, it must be super easy then.
Selcress is completely deflated, hanging over Fox's head.
Jemmery, that's right. Yeah.
Jemmery! What? What do you want?
Do you have a friend? Would you like a friend?
I have all the friends I need. I don't need any more friends.
Are you sure? I could be a friend.
No. You're
Yeah,
dumb.
let's all be friends.
If you
Why
have
you gotta make everyone a baby?
friends in here.
I've done my research. You're all idiots. I don't want to be friends with any of you.
I'm not an idiot. Sure,
Yeah,
they're inferior creatures, but still.
You're the one who made all these puzzles. What are these?
Oh, you
yeah?
died before. I'm the only one who hasn't died.
Dying's
And
not-
as he delivers that sick burn, which is, I think, true.
I don't understand why. I'm a kid. I've always been a kid.
Yeah, because you're that loser Bartholomew.
He is a loser.
Yeah, I guess we agree on this.
So you move into the next room, and you see within this time in front of the door, there are 4 sort of square slots, and you see on the ground 4 big wooden blocks that seem to fit within them, and each one has a different letter on it. And those letters that are on the blocks are the letter E, one of them has the letter N, one of them has the letter P, and one of them has the letter O.
Open.
No.
Yes, we're trying to open the door, but how are we gonna do it?
I don't know.
Those letters? Yeah.
Those are indeed letters. It seems the blocks are meant to be placed into their respective locations.
Is
But
this
in what
something-
order?
Is this something non-drow children do?
Haha, Jeremy, very funny. You put us against an impossible puzzle. How are you supposed to do this?
It's
unfair.
That's smart.
What's even the point of this?
Wait, what are you doing? Don't put him in like that. That's the wrong way. No, they go in. Selcress, they're like peon, right?
You do spell peon.
Selcress, don't you want to try peon first?
It didn't work.
Selcress?
Fluffy's already
Selcress,
done
I
it.
know you're smarter than them. Put peon in instead.
I don't think so.
Selcress just has this extremely annoyed look on her face that she's had since the hug.
And as he's saying that, Fluffy goes up and puts in the blocks in the pattern of open. And as such, the door does react with a great
Oh,
opening.
dang. It opens. Wow.
And as you hear Jeremy's voice kind of calling out to tell you to stop over the intercom, you hear that voice reflected again in the next room, because that appears to be where he actually is.
I'm having a great time in your house. This is great.
Sitting atop a large, inflatable-looking throne, you see what looks like nothing more than a baby wearing a blue wizard's hat with a bunch of stars upon it. You see all sorts of crazy things throughout that people describe in but a moment. But Jemmery looks toward you all and says, well, I've been expecting you.
Yeah, we've been expecting you
Welcome
too.
to my lair.
As you enter now into the room, you can see the great kind of waterfalls of lava also are in this room. You can see the sharks with the laser beams on them swirling around through the walls that are aquarium, but it also appears to be a very pleasant play space. You can see a very big and grandiose looking crib on one side of the room. You can hear kind of a of what looks like a very large model train that runs on a track around the outside of the floor here. You can see various building blocks stacked in different heights, very large chairs. Everything seems a little bit scaled up greater than what it would appear to be Jemmemy's actual height should be. For example, there's one very large table, and on that table, there's actually a much smaller table that, with more Jemmery-sized, Jemmery-sized chairs. It's so difficult. More Jemmery-sized chairs upon it. You can also see what looks to be a fairly vast stuffed animal collection. In particularly, one very large rabbit seems to be the favorite, as it's kind of worn and torn with a single eye kind of like is popping out a little bit on it, and one of the ears appears to be bitten off. That is the size of well, that is nearly giant-sized. At the top of the room, you can see kind of a big spinning mobile of rocket ships and various, astral bodies that kind of spin up above, and some very light music is kind of playing from it. And Jemmery addresses you.
Welcome to my lair. I was expecting you.
Right, we know.
I've been hugged.
talking.
You're here to surrender, of course, right?
I've been hugged.
Well, you know what? No one ever hugs me, Selcress. If you help me defeat
I wanna
your
walk up and
friend,
hug him.
I'll make sure you're never hugged again. No, get away from me! Get away! He smacks you with his. He's got a little plastic, blue plastic wand with a gold star at the end, and he hits you with it a couple times as he kind of climbs higher up onto his throne, and he yells, "Peter, defend me!"
As Jemmery kind of looks over to the other side of the room, you watch that rabbit that was previously described kind of starts to jiggle and shake and move and emerges from the huge pile of stuffed animals, which all fall to the ground, and it kind of looks over towards Jemmery and just goes, "What do you want me to do, Jemmery?"
Go defeat them!
You got it. I love you. And it starts kind of running
over.
over.
Too, Peter Rabbit.
And it starts running along the ground. Its heavy stuffed feet still making some pretty significant footfalls as it moves towards you.
I just wanted to Farva poke her claw into the inflatable chair and just deflate it.
It begins to deflate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's gonna take a couple rounds for this deflating. And I think we need to roll for initiative now.
Alright, let's go.
Pete, you want to roll for...
Yeah, I'll get...
Peter Wabbit?
Why don't we roll initiative? Is there statistics by chance for a giant rabbit?
What do you mean?
Because I want to wild shape into a giant rabbit and then try and hug him and see if that works.
The thing that Peter Rabbit does not exist. But yeah. you could flavor if you want, like a bear as a giant rabbit or something.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Just put some rabbit ears on.
Alrighty.
Good, fluffy.
Who was the last one to roll? I'm missing someone. Oh, it's Fluffy. All right.
So it appears that the first to act is going to be Lance.
What would you like to do, Lance?
Bingo. I will start this off right, dropping that second level bless on us as Lance just kind of yells out, "Salune, help us!" And all four of us are blessed.
Excellent.
Damn. Alrighty.
In that case, that's going to bring us to the lair. the lair is going to. Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will do so. You hear that train, which has been kind of, moving around the space and just chugga 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 chugga. Jemmery kind of points at it, and it just flies off the track all of a sudden, and is going to just move in a straight line towards the group of you. I am going to need. I think it's going to be in this instance. Selcress and Fawkes to make me dexterity saving throws, because I can always get.
Selcress, I got you. I'll hold on to Selcress. Give her +3 to her saving throws with my aura of protection.
Yeah, we
Selcress,
have bless, so.
Fawkes, I need you to bring me that bless. 3. All right, both of you succeed. And you are going to.
Fawkes actually only got the 15. No, Fawkes, does your
That was
charisma?
Selcress.
Yeah.
Yeah, his. Wait, does it actually?
Fawkes, is your charisma already stacked into your dex save?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I guess Fawkes only got
one
the.
weakness, it seems.
Yeah, the 17. Fawkes, you suffer 27 points of bludgeoning damage as you are unable to get out of this train in time. It throws you backwards 15 feet, and you are also knocked prone as the impact of this train just slamming into you throws you onto your back. Selcress, you are totally fine.
Yep.
And
All right.
that is all for the lair.
We go on to the next in the order. Fluffy, what would you like to do? Or actually, Fawkes, actually, and then Fluffy.
What?
It should be Fawkes first, because his costume makes him negligibly faster.
All right. Just got hit by a freight train. Let's do this. Whoa, what the heck? I pull out my sword and realize it's just like a giant pair of safety scissors. Cool. I will try to slice off one of the rabbit's ears or something.
All right, it's gonna go make an attack against the rabbit.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and do that.
You gotta take it out of the scabbard, you know.
Yes.
So 13 damage if that hits.
15 does hit.
So 13 damage. And then 20.
14 misses.
Oh. Do not. I'll use my bonus action to cast Sanctuary, I guess, on myself. Like, you can't touch this.
I can take whatever I want. I'm in charge.
All right, so you swing twice with your mighty sword that cuts the heavens, or safety scissors that cut the heavens in this particular instant, which I guess makes a lot of sense that the scissors would. As the first slash cuts into him, you watch as stuffing and fluff about kind of the ear region kind of fly out of him, and he goes, "Whoa!" And the second one, it just seems to bounce off of his kind of furry body, and then you cast this sanctuary spell upon yourself. And I think that's all for your turn.
Yep. No, don't hurt me.
That is going to bring us to who? It was Lance next, yes?
No,
Fluffy.
Oh,
It was Fluffy.
Yeah, it'll be
Fluffy next, yes.
So I would like to go, okay, yeah, you just look like you need a hug. I'm gonna hug you now. And I'm gonna
I don't
transform
need
into a
any
giant
hugs.
rabbit.
Oh God.
and then I want to try and grapple him and hug him.
Okay, you run up to Jemmery to grapple him. Excellent.
So go ahead and make a nice. Oof.
Damn.
I'm using the polar bear if that's okay.
Jemmery is
Yep,
gonna
that's fine.
try.
Jemmery did not have a hope. I guess he could have critted.
Yeah, that was it. No, that wouldn't have done it actually. So yeah, you run up and you grapple Jemmery, and you're like, "No, stop it! Let
I'll
go
hug
of
him
me!
and squeeze him and call him George.
No, I'm not Jemmery!"
Oh, good, the reversal. The rabbit is the squeezer. That is going
Rabbit
to.
can't talk. I didn't say that to him. Rabbit can't talk.
Yes.
We bring it to Jemmery. Jemmery is going to start his turn by casting a spell He's gonna cast not haste. You know, no. He's gonna cast greater invisibility upon Peter Rabbit. As Peter Rabbit turns completely invisible.
Oh man!
Is it within range?
Now you're in deep shit. Oh, it's range touch. You're right. He actually can't do that. So he'll cast haste instead.
You can turn me invisible if you want.
No, he's gonna give Peter Rabbit haste. Peter Rabbit, you're well fast.
Wow, that was incredible! Thank you so much, Jemmery.
I hate when this happens. Selcress, it's your turn. Selcress.
Oh, great. Jemmery's restrained, right?
He is grappled, not restrained.
Okay. Does that mean I get advantage on attacks to him, or what?
No, it just
It
means
only means
can't
you cannot move. Yeah.
Okay. Then Selcress is gonna go over to Fawkes and pap him with the fly.
Oh shit.
Dang, son, I could already do that.
And
But now we
then,
can take an action now.
and then she's gonna flare her cape of enduring vigor
Oh, classic.
as she climbs on top of Fox's head again and points upward.
Alright. I got you.
That brings it to Peter Rabbit.
Ah. All right. Hey, why don't you give me a big hug? And Peter Rabbit is going to look down at you, Fawkes, who is grabbing onto him, and is going to make an attack against you. That's a 28.
Selcress, I know how you feel. No.
A 14, I assume, misses. And then with his hasted action, he's going to do it again for another crit fail. Oh wait, he needed to make a wisdom save to attack you in the first place. Hold on a second. Yeah, he succeeds on the wisdom save. So he hits you for 32 points of bludgeoning damage as Peter Rabbit lifts you up, Fawkes, and just squeezes you. You feel the air being pushed out of your lungs. I love you too.
I hate you so much.
Now you know how I feel.
We
Now
move
you know what it's like.
to land.
Selcress, I will never hug you again.
Beautiful. You know what? Both of you can get a point of inspiration. That was very good.
So that brings us to the top of the initiative, correct?
Yes, to Lance.
All right, Lance.
Bingo. Seeing Peter Rabbit going absolutely mad rabbiting after that, Lance will kind of just, whoa, slow down there, Peter. No need to get so hasty here. And I will, poof.
Dispel magic. Brutal.
Is he a magical construct?
No. He is not dispelled, but the haste would be.
Yeah, the haste is for sure, though.
For you.
Doesn't that make it so he's overworked, so he can't take an action or something?
Yes, he gets effectively stunned.
Indeed.
All right. Was that the end of your turn, Lance?
I will scoot a bit closer to Selcress and Fawkes.
That is going to be the lair's turn, and you watch as Jemmery points over to one of those big building blocks that you saw at the start of it. But it actually, you realize it starts to crank, and you hear kind of a music start to come out of it as a handle on the side of it begins to turn. And that's all that happens at this particular point in time.
No. Roll that die, Pete.
Well, no, there's a different way that I'm having it work now than that. Okay.
All right, we're into the next edition of Fawkes. What would you like to do?
And on that subject, Fawkes, I need you to roll me a d4.
Ooh, sure.
Okay, never mind. It happens literally immediately. I need you to also make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, great.
and frightened you as it's a jack-in-the-box.
Woof. You watch as out of the jack-in-the-box pops, all of a sudden, a head just goes, and a big, like, kind of jokery mask pops out and looks at you. From the fright, you take half damage from that because you succeeded, so you take 21 points of psychic damage.
I scream back at it angrily.
And that is all for that particular lair action, I guess.
Fawkes still gets his turn, though.
Oh yeah, your turn still happens.
Yeah. Does Lance one on?
I suppose so.
Yeah, sure. I'll bring up Lance, pull him up with me, and just like fly 30 feet up in the air. Where is Jeremy?
Jemmery is on a deflating bouncy castle.
Is he like high up?
No, currently he's grappled by Fluffy, who also looks like a giant rabbit. He is very quickly sinking toward the ground.
How tall is the ceiling?
It's huge. I mean, this thing goes up like easily 80, 100 feet.
Then I'll just like dash up 60 feet in the air.
Okay, at this point, you're up among the different like rocket ships and things that are hanging from the ceiling.
Alright, and I will use a bonus action to flip in cast a spell.
A spell?
A spell.
Not just any spell, a spell.
Shield of Fife, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. Give me just. Well. Shield now.
Alrighty. Is that the end of your turn, Fawkes? You just fly up, straight up?
Yep.
Awesome. Fluffy, you have Jemmery grappled, and he's like, "What are you doing? Let go of me! You're not Peter Rabbit! Stop it!"
Hug him! Hug him tighter!
No!
I would like to hug him tighter and take him out of the room.
Oh, you're gonna start hopping away? No!
I
Peter
would,
Rabbit, kill this one first!
so it's like half move to drag, and so it's like I only get like 40 feet.
You drag him to the door. Just, no! He's beating you ineffectively with his plastic star wand.
I continue hugging him the whole time as I'm hopping away.
Into it.
Okay. Brutal. Is that the end of your turn, Fluffy?
Yes.
All right. Jemmery is gonna take his turn and be like, "No, you can't do it! Sharks, you come protect me!" And he is going to conjure 3 of the sharks. You see them just kind of teleport out of the tank and just appear flopping on the ground nearby. Now there are 3 sharks with laser beams on their heads flopping around. I'm gonna roll their initiative. They got an initiative of 12. Huh?
Can the sharks even shoot the laser beams?
Now, what did Jemmery get for his initiative? I think they got the worst initiative they could possibly get with a 12. Which is a bump. Oh no! Jemmery got a 16, so they go right now. Holy shit.
That's a pretty good round for Jemmery.
Oh boy. The sharks are gonna go. And Fluffy, Jesus Christ. Oh boy. You know, I think we're gonna see who the sharks target because the sharks are bad.
Yeah, they're just flopping around.
You guys are up in the air. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's roll a d4. We'll say that actually, I'll roll a d2. If it's on a 1, it's going for Fluffy. On a 2, it's going for one of you 3 up there. So
You should give them disadvantage because they're just flopping around.
So Fluffy, 2 of these sharks shoot laser beams at you. I need you to make 2 dexterity saving throws. And the other shark shoots a laser beam at Fawkes. Fawkes, and actually, shit, that should be Selcress, the second one. So all of you need dexterity saving throws. Oh no.
Sure.
Oh my.
Oh no. Is this what I think it is?
I mean, it's like what you think it is, but...
Oh
Alright,
no.
Oh my god,
you
disintegration
succeed.
rates.
It goes right by you.
16.
Fluffy, 2 laser beams strike you. One of them hits for 27 force damage.
Keep in mind that you have Fluffy. You have Bless.
Oh,
Would that
You're
help?
gonna want to roll that bless.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Oh,
wanna roll
yes.
that, because that is very important. All right,
Yes.
you succeed on the first one, but you still fail the second one. So that's 27 points of force damage that hit you.
Wait, that one reduced to 13?
No, that does not. They don't do half damage. It's just all or nothing.
Oh,
You
okay.
only-
So
Yeah, you only got a 10 with the +2 from bless. So still 27 force. That doesn't reduce you to 0, right?
nope, 15 health.
Okay, so you weren't
Okay.
disintegrated.
That's good.
You're lucky. As the sharks continue to flop around, their lasers shoot little green beams, and then they look like they're recharging. Not like the recharge mechanic recharging, but they're going to do this again next turn, if they're still alive. And that is the end of the shark's turn, as we jump to Selcress.
Well, I guess it's time to get a little serious. Hey, Jemmery,
Yo, let go of me! What?
prepare to know the icy wrath of Levistus.
And
What does
she's
that
going,
even mean?
and she's going to activate one of the crystal colors features.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Levi suddenly erupts into visibility as a barbed devil.
Levi's tiny icy body grows long and taut as he kind of stretches out, and you watch as just thorns of like ice and barbed wire and barbs just kind of start to stick out of the sides of his body as you now have a barbed devil at your command.
Yep. And now he's going to use his action to attack because I still have my bonus action.
All right, do it up.
Alright, so he's going to hurl flame at Peter.
not
Okay,
Jemmery.
cool. Let me fix that so that it's not GM and
Oh, sorry.
pair convention. You just roll it again always, whatever happens.
Which is actually a good thing in this case.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Yep, so roll again.
Alright, not advantage, normal. He gets Selcress's spell attack.
Technically, the first attack should be an advantage because he was invisible before, right?
Yeah, he was. But he uninvisibled.
Oh, transforming. You're right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't mean-
Also, I need to bump up his to hit because he takes the.
Okay.
So, gonna roll 2 attacks there. On Peter.
So unfortunately, both of those attacks miss. Those are
Alright.
the 2 and a 5 is bad luck. As the 2 motes of fire just kind of whir past Peter's head, and he goes, "Whoa!"
Get him, Levi! Get him good!
Peter Wabbit is stunned this round.
Yep, Peter Rabbit is out of commission. He goes, "I am a little bit tired."
All right, Lance, it goes to you at the top of initiative.
Flying up with Fawkes, seeing the horrible blasts of laser beam, I will counter laser beam and aim at one of the sharks with a, if I can find it, I cannot, there it is, a first level guiding bolt
At Peter Rabbit?
He's
at one of the sharks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you absolutely, you have advantage against the shark.
And let's go for
Yeah.
that crit fish.
Yeah, they are they're in bad, they don't have a land speed, which is very strange. So yeah, you hit for 16. Does that kill the shark? What is their average? No, they barely, it's still alive. But it glows with divine light.
Fox, we need to focus those laser sharks. They're too cool and also really deadly.
Yep, please do.
All right.
Is that all for your turn, Lance?
That does it.
You cast your beam at the shark, which now glows with light. And then at this point, with kind of a snap of Jemmery's fingers, you watch as the at the sides of the room where the lava is kind of pouring in. You watch as that starts to pool and not drain into whatever was allowing it to be a waterfall, and suddenly the floor is lava as the room begins to fill up. It spreads out throughout the room. You watch as it begins to fill up the space. The sharks in here, all of them just seem to now float and swim in the water, and there's in the lava, and there's now just kind of a magical sheen that seems to protect them from the lava's damage. Similarly, you see Jemmery, who has kind of a protective bubble around him that seems to emanate from his big kind of wizard hat that he's wearing, that he just kind of like floats in the water, and almost like it's acting like a flotation device in the, or I'm saying water, but I meant to say lava. But now all of you find that you're very quickly being consumed by lava here on the ground.
Reminds
Now-
me of the Nine Hells.
What was that?
It reminds me of the Nine Hells.
And that is his lair action. He goes, "Oh, I fluff. Oh, I fluffy. If you're going to try and take me, I'm going to burn you alive." And Fawkes sakes, it is now your turn.
All right. Can I fly up behind one of the rockets?
Indeed, but at the start of your turn, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
No, he's up in the sky already.
Oh, he was already up. Great.
Yeah, all three of them are up. The only one on the ground is Fluffy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Alright, so I would like to take like full cover behind one of the rockets.
The mobile? All right, yeah, you're on the ceiling, kind of grabbed onto the side of one of them as it kind of like spins around your.
So it can't be targeted by laser beams, please. And I'll be like, surprise! And have my steed water, because bull bears are great swimmers, right? So we'll just wait until this thing,
Whoa.
shark meat and it'll just give him a hug, you know? Give Jeremy a hug. Just Jemmery.
So is your polar bear in the lava?
I guess so, if it's with Jemmery.
Okay. So the polar bear needs to roll a Constitution save in the beginning of this.
Alright. There you go.
Okay, well, that's a good one.
It takes half of that damage instead of the full of 13 points of fire damage.
It will just put its mouth around Jemmery's head and punch down. Give him a slimy hug.
You'll have
yeah, just like wrap his claws around him.
I think that.
Oh, I hope you like that.
Yeah, that'll also hit. Both of them kind of, as it crunches down, you see an arcane ward, an abjuring force protecting Jemmery from actually all of that damage. However, the little arcane barrier seems to be substantially weakened.
Okay. And I'll lay on hands myself for like 30-something hit points. Done.
Alrighty. We move to the next. Fluffy, you start your turn in the lava. Can you roll a Constitution saving throw for us? That'll do.
That will, in fact, do. You will take half of the same damage. 24, so 12 points of fire damage.
I was hoping it was knocking me out of wild shape. Oh well.
Oh, you're hoping it would just knock you out? I mean, you can choose to fail if you want. Like, that's an option you have.
What do you want to do, Fluffy?
What would you like to do?
The polar bear attacked him, right? So I was holding one instead of kill.
Yeah.
So I want to come out of wild shape. And then I wish to cast Water Wall.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully that like cools down the lava to make like a rocky safe
I
spot.
think that'll do it, actually.
Yeah, for sure. You trying to create like a circle around yourself?
Yeah, as I move him further out of the out.
No! Peter, what are you doing? kill him!
I'm really tired from that haste spell before.
You hear Jemmery talking like through the mouth of a polar bear.
Mia, what are you doing? I'm gonna get eaten!
I'm gonna be coming in just a sec.
You cast Water Walk and just walked away?
No, I took cast Water Wall and made a safe area.
So you now just have this circle of water that's kind of forming molten magma around you as you kind of have this like bubble that you're creating for yourself in the space. Can you describe the shape of the water wall, or I just put the spell up for me?
It's like you're making a circle around you, right?
It's like a obsidian dome.
Yeah, are you making just the ring around you, Fluffy?
Yeah, like it's like file.
Yeah, it can make.
Yeah, well, it's just you get to pick the shape.
Well, no, Pete. It actually has an option where you can actually have it choose to be a ring centered on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what the.
I'm trying to think. Do I want the line or the circle? No, yeah, I'll have the circle, and I'll try and move out of the room. That's my goal.
Okay.
Okay. Well, if you're doing the circle, it's going to kind of like lock you into that space, and you won't be able to quite get out of the room.
Unless he's willing to
he does whatever he needs to do to try and get out, right? That's what you're getting at?
You could cast it to cool down the lava and then lose concentration.
That was my goal, to cool down the lava.
Okay.
But if he's willing to take, if the wizard is willing to accept a water walk, I'll gladly walk past that instead.
Oh, Jemmery? Jemmery will not accept your magic.
Yeah, okay. Water wall it is.
All right, so you create a big kind of circle of water. You hear the hiss of steam and smoke as the lava around is being very rapidly cooled by the water into hot magma. The entire area becomes like almost obscured with the thick mist as this water comes into the space. The lava is slowly pouring in, filling up higher and higher, but the water wall is still holding. Anything else on your turn?
Looks like you wet yourself.
No, I didn't!
You totally did. Look at you. You're wet.
No,
Pencil.
I didn't. Peter, get over
You
here.
did.
You should probably ignore him. He's just going to antagonize you. But don't worry, I'll get you out of here safely. I'll heal you up from that damn polar bear.
No, I hate you. Go with me. And Jemmery's gonna go. As he is gonna call out. Oh, what is he gonna do? He is going to cast. Oh, jeez, what is he gonna cast?
I know, right? Just look at the spell list for a minute.
Yeah, no, he's got some choices. I think what he's gonna cast is he is going to cast haste on Peter Rabbit again.
Can he see Peter through all the lava and water?
Oh, he can't see him through the water. You're right. Damn it. Every time I try and cast a spell, I can't do it. All right. Instead, he is going to just look at you, Fluffy, and be like, "Oh wait, I'm tired of this crap now. I'm gonna wreck your shit." And he's gonna cast Fireball at 7th level on himself.
Holy shit!
Just let go of me, and it's a terrible fireball.
Wait, is he gonna hit himself?
Yeah, he will.
Doesn't Fluffy have resistance to fire damage and water? He's scared.
Well, he's not in water. He's kind of surrounded by water.
He's near it, yeah.
Think of Wall of Fire, but it's water instead.
Water adjacent.
Yeah, so he's gonna roll a dex save. He succeeds on his own save, barely.
Barely. You get blessed with your save, Fluff.
Yeah. Not
But-
sure 13 do it.
Yeah, so Fluffy,
Doesn't
you're
he
gonna
get
take
blessed?
39 points. He added the D4 in there. That's what the plus 2
okay.
is. So that's gonna be 39 points of fire damage on you, Fluffy. And Jemmery is going to cast Absorb Elements to reduce the damage on his reaction.
Yeah, you watch as the kind of little protection spell around him that's preventing the lava does not seem to be actually protecting him from his own fire.
Ow! Why aren't you dead yet? Stop it!
Why are you hurting yourself?
Calm down. You probably shouldn't hurt yourself. Being self-destructive isn't the way. Kindness.
And I think that's going to bring us to... Oh,
You see
okay.
his arcane ward heal up substantially. And that's the end of the turn.
All right. Selcress, what do you wish to do?
Alrighty.
Oh no, the sharks need to go.
Oh, I forgot about the sharks, God.
Yeah, the sharks.
The sharks are going to roll d4 to see who they target.
Oh, the sharks can swim now, so...
Yeah, so they can just go for anyone. It's going to be Lance.
Alright, the
And- oh,
flying
God.
ones.
Don't we have full cover?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are 2 huge laser beams that fly up toward you and disintegrate the thing underneath you. You no longer have cover behind that in particular one. However, one of them is still going at you, Fluffy. Can you roll me that dexterity save?
How can you see me through the water wall? It's very strange.
Can you attack through a water wall?
I think I can just swim through it as a problem at this point.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point. Let's,
Oh,
he'll
yay,
just
I love
disintegrate
it.
the water wall. Can they do that? I'm trying to think, like, you made a wall of water, which made a bunch of stone from the lava. So I think it'll just disintegrate.
Water on the ground.
It'll disintegrate the stone underneath the water wall and swim through and is now on your side of the water wall. That's what it'll do. And that'll be the end of that shark's turn.
Alright, now it is Selcress.
Right. Selcress is going to, I guess, fire up a couple Eldritch Blasts. How many do I get at this level? Okay, just double checking, it's been a while. She's gonna fire up 2 Eldritch Blasts at 2 of the sharks.
Okay.
One's glowing.
Yeah, the one that's glowing, I assume you attack first.
Yeah.
Well, then you're gonna hit because you have advantage from the glowing.
Alright, and that'll
Power
be...
of glowing.
Oh, and that kills it by 1 extra. So one of the sharks in the room that just fired upon you up there is destroyed.
Alrighty.
And by that I mean it just floats. It's just floating in the lava.
Okay. And then she's gonna aim another one. One of the other sharks, but sadly no.
Oh, that plus to hit is not correct. There's no way that should only be a +3.
Oh, you're right.
What's your charisma modifier?
It's a 4.
So that should be a +7.
Yeah.
That should be 4 higher than it is.
Yeah. So
Which actually,
roll bless as well.
yeah.
Weird. I'll fix that.
Yeah, with that and the bless, you actually are still going to hit the next shark. So go ahead and give me your Eldritch Blast damage.
Okie doke.
All right, that shark is still alive, but not by much. And is that the end of your turn, Fawkes?
No,
Oh,
that is not the end of my turn. Levi has
What
a
a dumb
turn.
question. What would Levi like to do? There's a shark next to him? Peter
is
Rabbit.
there-
So never mind.
No, he didn't appear near the rabbit. He hurled a flame at the rabbit.
Yeah, he threw the fire from a distance.
Okay.
Yeah. He's actually gonna go over to Jemmery.
Is he flying? Is he immune to fire, actually?
He is immune to
He is
fire.
immune to fire. Also, Selcress, you are not currently flying, correct?
No, but I'm on Fawkes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Fawkes is carrying one. Okay, so he walks over to Jemmery.
Yep, and he's gonna do a multi-attack. So I think I fixed this guy, so he's gonna try and hit.
Oh,
Doesn't work.
fortunately, but that one will connect.
That one definitely hits, and that one definitely hits.
That one will do. Okay. Again, the arcane ward appears to protect Jemmery from the bulk of the damage, but that only, it starts to shatter and break under the relentless attacks from Levi.
Give him Levi! Get him good!
Is there anything else you'd like to do, Suck?
Okay.
Alrighty.
I believe it is Peter Rabbit.
Peter Rabbit, fuck him up!
Don't, don't worry, Jemmery. I'm coming. And he kind of runs across the lava, which he's going to take a bunch of damage from, probably.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no, he only takes half. 12 damage. Which I will tell you at the end. And he kind of runs, and you see he does like a mighty bunny leap up over the wall, and crashes down into the space, and looks towards you, Fluffy, and he goes, "All right, hugging time," and is gonna go and wrap his arms around you. That is his one dance move. Oh God! For a grand total of, I believe that is going to be 78 points of bludgeoning damage.
Down and 200.
And actually, so as you say that, you fall down, and you're kind of like losing consciousness a little bit. You're knocked down onto your back, but as you would go to die, like you start to die, and then you just don't. You just feel still okay, and you actually almost instantly don't feel any of the pain even, as you realize.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Oh shit! Wait, you're still babies.
You're still a baby.
Oh, my own power used against me.
So what happens to me mechanically?
You're at 1 hit point.
You are at 1 hit point.
But you are not unconscious.
Indeed.
Ow.
You can't be reduced below 1. You're a baby. You can't kill babies in the land of DnDTime.
I'm very confused.
Children are immune to death. They just ragdoll. You still feel like you got hit by a truck.
Yeah, you did get hit by a truck, but you are still kind of okay after that. And that's all for Peter Rabbit's turn, which I believe brings us to the top of initiative. Lance?
Dang.
My portal go away.
As I am being flown, I will... you know what? No, those sharks need to die. I will do a 2nd level guiding bolt against one of the sharks.
The one near Fluffy or the one in the room with you guys?
Can I see the one in the room with Fluffy?
You can't actually fly, can you? You're just up there with Fawkes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
just
it's
go through
pretty covered. Quite a bit of cover.
I'll do it to the close one then.
Okay. Well, it'd be half cover. But,
Ooh. I'm gonna go ahead and... Yeah.
Oh.
Hey.
That also is only giving your +3. This must be a new bug Roll20's put in, because that should be a +7 for you.
I noticed that in another game, now that you mention it.
Yeah. You nailed the shark. Go ahead and give me your damage. Alrighty. And the shark is blasted apart with the divine light of Selune. The light of the moon destroys it, and chunks of rapidly cooking shark fly across the chamber.
Is that all of the sharks now?
No, there's still one shark in with Fluffy. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I believe that's all I can do with my main action. So
are you still hanging on to Fawkes up in the air?
Yes.
Okay.
Selcress is well used to hanging on to people while flying at this point.
Exactly. Excellent. Pete, lair action.
And you hear as the Jack in the Box starts to fire up once more.
Oh, let's just play that awful. Oh yeah, I hate that so much.
As it moves on to, I believe, Fox's turns. Fawkes, I need you to roll me a d4.
You can target me all the way up here behind the rocket.
It's not really targeting you.
The ship was just disintegrated, so the ship was
Oh my god.
You're fine. Nothing happens.
Yeah, you're good. It's still cranking.
Yep. Dun, 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 just continues.
I'll peek my head over the edge and look down at
The ship is
Jemmery.
disintegrated, Fawkes. We'll find another rocket ship.
I realized, oh, there's no ship behind me under me anymore, and I'll go to another one. I'll look down at Jemmery.
Okay.
And I'll uncork my copper flask and just pour alcohol all over him from the above.
Jesus. All right.
I'm really sad for him.
What
After
are you
that,
doing?
He's peeing on you.
Ew, you're gross.
yeah, I hope you like the taste of that, and I'll take a bite of my my candy club. Heal for 14.
Alrighty.
Just pouring beer all over this baby. Okay.
Wait.
And last thing, my bear is gonna bite down on one of his arms and just punch him.
Well, the bear does start his turn.
Have him
off,
punch
so
himself with his own arms.
It's gonna need to roll a Constitution save.
Not on the rock ledge, you mean?
Oh, no, the rock ledge was disintegrated by one of the sharks.
Oh, okay. Should still survive unless you roll like super high damage.
Pete, you want to get that lava ore?
Yep, I got it right now. 20 points of damage.
Alrighty.
Like, if Farda can, like, climb up on top of... There are, like, things in this space. There are blocks. There are chairs.
Yeah, but Jemmery's not on top of those. He wants them to fuck up.
All right, fair enough.
Unless you want to retreat.
Yeah, I think Farva's just gonna have Jemmery punch himself.
Okay. Well, that'll do.
Bite down onto one of his arms and like just shove it into his face.
Okay, with that second attack, you shatter the arcane ward, and in a very similar thing to what you just saw to Fluffy, you see Jemmery just get ragged all around, as though he would have been reduced below 1 hit point, but as a baby.
And I believe that's going to bring us to Fluffy's turn, yes?
That being said, I do need to roll concentration.
Oh, yes.
All right. Oh no, you're stunned again, Pete. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't have haste on me.
What happened to it?
You couldn't cast it, and you ended up doing the big fireball.
I forgot. Thank you. No. Whose turn is it now?
I believe it is Fluffy's turn.
Yes, it is.
Can Jemmery make a wisdom save for me?
Before that happens, I need you, Fluffy, to make me...
Oh no.
I need you to roll me a D3.
Oh no.
Nothing happens, you're good.
Okay, can Jemmery make me a wisdom save, please, as I will cast polymorph on him?
Spell? He is going to counterspell that.
It's a 4th level spell.
Yep, so he has to roll. Because he wouldn't cast it at any higher level. So he's got to roll a 14 or higher on this. Ooh. Which actually, that was just a really great roll.
Yeah, +4.
As the water wall's gone, am I in the lava? Do I have to do a con save?
It only, because the water wall is super long, the shark only disintegrated part of it, so no.
No, I lost concentration on the water wall when I crit.
Well, the rock that was formed by the water wall is still kind of in existence. A little bit of lava is trickling in, but you're okay.
Okay, I want a bonus action and transform into a giant snake.
All right, okay. You now fill up kind of the inside of the space that you're in as your body elongates and stretches, coiled around the inside of this little circular piece of ground that you've carved out.
As I transform, I want to say to Jemmery, I'm gonna hug it real good!
No! All right.
From up above, Selcress shivers.
Selcress understands. Jemmery is going to look back into the other room and up toward you, Fawkes, hidden behind the thing, and he says, I know your tactics, Fawkes. I studied them, and I know exactly how to counter you. And he is going to aim his star kind of staff up in the air and cast a 6-volt magic missile.
Oh, no!
The little missiles of energy whirl into the other room and perfectly arc around the spaceship, blasting into you for 28 total points of damage. Which really actually isn't even that much damage to you. Just the sad part. And
you need to make a concentration check, or actually several concentration checks on Shield of Faith.
Oh yeah, an outrageous number of concentration checks. That's 3, and then an additional 5, so 8. 8
Good. Hey! Oh wait. No, wait, 2 more. Actually, you can't fail. Never mind, you're good.
Yeah, you literally can't.
What the heck, guys? Come on.
It'd be kind of a dick move. Anyway, so yeah, you completely ignored Jemmery's hard counter. That's, I think, the end of his turn. The sharks are gonna go.
I roll my eyes. Oh wow, magic missiles.
What's up, Pete?
Is Jemmery going to end the effect
of
the big effect that is on everybody?
Oh shit! Yeah, wait, I forgot. Thanks for reminding me, Peter Wabbit. Jemmery
No problem, Jemmery.
Jemmery is going to hold up his star wand and say, "All right, you can be adults again." And he's gonna, it glows with arcane power, and a light washes over everything. And suddenly, you all find yourselves transformed back into adults. Fuck's sake, relatively the same, except with a much higher capacity for alcohol.
Does that work with a wild shape?
Selcress,
You look exactly the same.
you grew an
can't
inch.
tell. Yeah.
She sighs to herself.
Fluffy, you just feel something. And now the sharks are gonna go, and the only thing the shark can target is you, Fluffy, because you're the only one near it. Can you roll me a dexterity save?
Yep.
As it shoots a laser beam upon you. Laser beam!
Trick the snake is +2.
It's gonna be 30 points of force damage.
Ooh.
And that will be the end of the only shark's turn. Are you still up, Fluffy?
Yep, 30 hit points left. The giant snake.
Not disintegrated. Selcress, what would you like to do?
Selcress is going to attack that shark.
Mm-hmm.
So, bam.
12? Yeah, you'll hit him.
Like a pro.
What was that, Fluffy?
Taking damage like a pro.
Being
Yeah,
that
you tanked a lot of damage this game.
3 points of damage. You got any more for me?
Yeah, I do. I have another one.
That'll hit for another. All right. Shark's looking pretty hurt.
All right.
Levi's still over there. You want him to finish it off?
Yeah, he'll claw attack and claw attack.
Oh man.
Jesus, Levi, come on.
Levi's been having a rough time on these rolls.
Levi,
Oh my
why?
god! I
You're
think that's
too
like
far away from him.
I think that is the 4th crit fail.
He needs the inspiration.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll inspire that last one. Because that's
Okay.
ridiculous.
That's a thing?
Oh wait, you have a point of
You have
inspiration.
inspiration. I forgot I get you inspiration.
Yeah.
Roll it again.
I'll inspire the last one because I'm just sad.
Fearing
Hey,
wrath.
on minimum damage too. Jeez.
Yeah, it barely is still up as Levi hits it.
Come on, Levi! Give him the 1-2 tail!
Which I believe brings us to Peter Rabbit's turn, unless you have anything else, Selcress.
No.
It is Peter Wabbit.
Peter Wabbit.
Peter Wabbit, finish him.
Whatever you say, Jeremy. And he kind of looks down and just, all right, Mr. Snake, you're not immune to hugs. And he's gonna come and try and get you. Which I assume both of those hit.
Okay. Yep, and I drop. Oh, I'm an adult now, right? I'm down.
All right.
You're unconscious.
And now Fluffy is truly unconscious.
That 14 from earlier, it wasn't Faku healing me, right?
No, he was healing himself.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to trigger a thing on Selcress's turn, but I will trigger it on Lance's turn, I guess, instead.
Lance?
Yeah, I need you to roll me a D2, Lance.
Get it, Lance?
Well, that's so unfair. I'm gonna get it if you roll the D2. That means I'm guaranteed.
Wait. Let me just quickly.
No!
What would you like to do?
160 feet of Fluffy.
You what? No, you're like 80 feet in the air.
Make it stop!
It is pretty awful. I'll go back to the other music.
Oh man, I don't think I have any healing for this distance. I don't.
I mean, if you leapt from the ceiling and fell, you'd be able to be within range of him.
But you're not a baby anymore, so.
But then you'd land in lava.
Oh, but I forgot to mention that Peter Rabbit hops up onto the table at the end of his turn after the snake goes down.
Peter, you left me down here in the lava, you asshole!
I just wanted to get the next guys.
Oh, okay.
And Fluffy was within melee of Peter and Jemmery. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Wait, no, that's so far from 60 feet. Damn it. Would I be able to get within 15 feet of Fluffy and them?
You can get within probably 10 feet of Fluffy if you leapt from where you are and you'd fall 80 feet into lava. Which that's an option you can make if you'd like.
You could get to Peter pretty easily, as he's like halfway between the two of you.
Yeah,
I have a
Peter's not on
crazy
lava.
plan, but I will opt to stay alive this round, so I will... Oh man, where is all my good stuff? All my good stuff is missing. So I will just hold a healing for whenever I'm within range of Fluffy. My channel divinity healing, so a 30-foot range.
Okay. Well, yeah, that won't happen unless you fall, right? Or if Fluffy comes to you.
Or if a certain Fawkes flies us forward.
Oh, you're right. I forgot
down.
entirely. All right, so you're ready in action. The lair is going to go.
The lair. Yep, exactly. And you hear, as the lava has been slowly filling up the space, you've lost track of the train, but you still heard it sound beneath it. And then all of a sudden, I need Lance and Fawkes to make me dexterity saving throws.
As a train.
As it comes flying straight up out of the water at a perfect 90-degree angle upwards.
They definitely have cover.
Yeah. So you'll have advantage on these saves against the train. You cannot.
There's a +5.
Or is it a?
It might just be a +5 because they got a lot of cover on this. Yeah, it's a +5.
Okay, so
Lance,
yeah, that is not going to do it, unfortunately. But Fawkes, you are totally fine. However,
well, actually, it's 4 + 5 is 9, plus Fox's aura is 12. With Bless. Oh,
so with Bless it was possible, but it was not. Damn, that would be crazy if you got there.
That would be baller. The DC 16.
Oh man.
You take 34 points of bludgeoning damage. I need you for one thing to make a concentration check on that Bless. And additionally, you are knocked back. 10 feet, yeah.
I will
choose 15 feet.
Not be knocked back as my dwarven plate kicks in.
Oh, nice! This was gonna knock you right down to the ground. And you also succeed on the concentration check as you hold on to your Bless and also are steadfast as the train it almost seems to kind of bounce off of you a little bit with a big metallic ding, as the train kind of arcs.
Now that everyone's an adult now, like, since he was holding on to me earlier, he just like...
He's now just awkwardly, he's just like wrapped around your shoulders and his regular sized head is right next to yours.
Selcress is just standing there heroically on your shoulders. Yes, it is I, Selcress came billowing.
Oh, you guys suddenly got a lot heavier.
And Fluffy's melting in lava, which is unfortunate for Fluffy. All right, that was the end of the lair. Fox sakes, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Fox sakes. I'll have Farva do something. So she's still in lava?
Yeah, I think so. If she was in Jemmery. Repeat the lava?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the bear. The bear started turning to lava.
That is probably going to finish off the bears. That is a failed save.
She stands up and does the soldier salute as she sinks into the lava.
She will revive soon within Bartholomew's shop.
Oh, she's technically unconscious at 1 hit point.
That's true. That's true. Anything is possible.
This is actually very relevant for Lance.
That is true.
What would you like to do?
Oh, shit. Then I will just... Being up here doesn't really matter. I'll just jump down, fall, and be like totally fine, just feather falling.
Well, you're flying.
Superhero landing.
You are flying, and there is lava on the ground.
Faster to fall than.
There are blocks, you know.
Yeah, I'll just fall into one of the blocks.
Well, I mean, there's the table that Peter's on if you're going after him.
Let's just fly above the lava where, what's his face is in?
Fluffy?
Jemmery?
No, Jemmery, yeah.
Okay.
And I will promptly just pluck that wand, the star wand, out of his hand.
You're gonna have to make a check to do that.
Take it from him. Okay, athletics.
Yeah. Okay, well, you see it?
Well, you see.
This is mine.
What are you
Stop
doing?
playing around.
He's a mean old adult now. You made him a mean old adult.
Ugh.
Not supposed to. You sit in the corner. Timeout time now. Don't make me count.
No, I'm not even doing it.
3.
Put him in his crib.
Fox, is there anything else you'd like to do? You just used your action and I think your movement. Do you have a bonus action?
2. I'll start counting down, telling him to get in the corner.
All right, Fluffy. Well, actually, as Fox flies down to there, Lance, your ability triggers.
It would, but I had to use my reaction to not be knocked into the lava, unfortunately.
What a
It
shame.
does eat a reaction, yes.
Fluffy, can you roll me a death saving throw? Oh. Unfortunately, that is a failure, and
Yes.
you're going to take an automatic failure from the lava you start your turn in. Oh wait, no, you were knocked unconscious
he's not-
on the stone. You're
Yeah, he's not in the lava.
One failure.
Yeah.
That's my turn.
Jemmery is going to say, fine, I'm not an idiot, and he kind of lifts up his hat and takes another, star wand out of it. I got a spare, dummy. And he's going to look at you, Fox, and say, hey, I have the ultimate counter to you. Power word, kill! And nothing happened because you're adults and he's a child. And adults are immune to damage from children.
Yes.
And you go, fuck, that was too bad! That's the end of Jemmery's turn. Peter, kill him, quickly!
I believe it is Selcress first, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're Selcress.
Selcress, you hear dun 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 ba dun ba dun 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 dun.
Oh no.
And I would tell you to roll a D1, but I think the outcome there is clear. As the Jack in the Box pops up and makes that very terrifying noise, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
It's an awful sound.
This is not a good sound.
Which you succeed on, so you take half of this psychic damage.
Alright.
So only 11 points of psychic damage, not too bad.
Oh, you've chipped off my temporary HP.
Well, meanwhile, Fluffy's got the absolute shit kicked out of him on the other side of the room.
That's rough.
Taking 6 disintegration. The Ravager just kicked the crap out of him.
Taking 170-ish damage.
Don't worry about it.
Is that the end of your turn, Selcress?
No,
I think we're
it's the start of her turn.
Oh, that's what I meant. Shit.
Is Selcress technically still a child?
No. Selcress, you're now 2 years older. You're an adult now.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
In the eyes of Bartholomew's shopping,
It's a big difference.
you are an adult.
Sure. Is there a block nearby I can jump off onto?
There is actually just stone that Fluffy made with the wall of water. If you want.
I'm gonna stay on Fox.
Okay.
It's my perch.
And she's gonna launch off some couple Eldritch blasts at Peter Cotton Fluffer tail.
The 17 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
Oh, well, don't forget the bless.
Oh,
That
yeah.
bless clutch.
That bless, yo.
The bless won't get you there on this one, unfortunately.
Alas, that bless. Alright,
But 4 points of damage.
Levi is still by the shark, who is not dead, I think.
Oh shit! I forgot to have the shark go. The shark will go after this if it's still alive somehow.
Alright. Levi's going to make
It's not gonna be alive. It's gonna kill it right now.
Probably not.
No, he probably will.
Levi's actually gonna hurl flame at it.
Okay. Well, actually, Levi knows it's immune to fire.
Oh, okay. I guess.
So, yeah, he knows that. He sees him and the shark swimming in the lava.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Alright, 2 claw attacks then.
The first claw attack kills it.
Okay.
Yeah, you kill it with the first claw attack.
Then the other claw attacks are going for, Jemmery.
Alright, just beat the shit out of Jemmery.
Yeah.
Alright, once again, he gets to that point where he's reduced to 1 hit point.
She's beating the shit out of him. Get him.
You literally can't kill me.
I don't care. It's fun.
No!
How's it feel?
I fucking
Feel nice.
Is that all for your turn, Selcress?
Yes.
All right.
Peter Rabbit is going to make a massive bounding leap and attempt to grapple, and is going to attempt to grapple
Get
you.
Selcress! She just punched me with lasers.
Lance is going to attempt to grapple Lance,
You bitch!
who's on the back of Fawkes, where Selcress also is.
No, I know.
Children shouldn't swear.
So I need you to make me a acrobatics or dexterity check. Which he just barely grabs onto, and Fawkes, you feel an incredible amount of additional weight as this giant stuffed rabbit is now onto your pylon. And while he's on you, he's going to make a hug attack against you, Selcress, as he's just part of the pile now. He goes to squeeze you.
Oh gosh.
That's a 22.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I can't send that to Levi, can I?
If you have a reaction still, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You can just make Levi
you can just make Levi take that damage.
Yeah, Levi takes that damage.
All right, Levi takes 20 points of bludgeoning damage, and is servant's reward. Yeah, you watch as Levi's body just kind of like twists and contorts a little bit. And that is all for Peter Rabbit's turn, as he used one of his attacks to grapple. And he's now part of the pile.
Lance, it's your turn.
In this pile, Lance will just reach up and grab his holy symbol, and he will channel Divinity Preserve Life as I begin doling out those hit points to get our boys up to half HP.
Now, there are 2 creatures at 0 within your range, and they are Fluffy and the polar bear.
Fluffy, what's half your max HP?
Round it up or down?
Down.
29.
I will give Fluffy 25 points and the bear 10 points.
Alrighty.
And I will bonus action Sanctuary on myself.
Oh, I could actually use some hit points too. 4.
Well,
And I will bonus action Healing Word Fawkes as I hear him kind of in pain. And
Are you not doing the Sanctuary?
No, I will do the Healing Word instead of the Sanctuary.
Okay, cool.
As I go to Sanctuary, I hear Fawkes crying out in pain, and it's like, Cleric, it's always up to Cleric.
It is Salune's will that you do heal the injured.
Oh, dang, son.
For the
That feels
lair
good.
action,
Uh,
I think, Pete, may
oh, please.
I? Jemmery looks down at the lava and says, "You know, there's one good thing to being immortal. Krakatoa!" And you see the lava level begin to quickly rise. And you are now all in lava again, as it has risen another solid 10 feet.
Yep. Slowly working its way up towards the ceiling.
And that's the end of the lair. Fawkes, it's your turn. You're in lava currently. Roll me a constitution save for you and your bear.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Krakatoa.
Wakatoa. Oh, this bear.
This bear.
This bear.
Fawkes, you unfortunately do not succeed, and you take the full brunt of that 23 points of fire damage. The bear, however, only takes 11.
Okay. The bear will swim up to a block
Okay.
Do that, sorry.
Didn't I say I was on top of a block, or the lava just consumed the blocks, or did they not float?
No, you went down to beat the shit out of Jemmery.
Yeah, remember you were above him, like holding his wand over his head and teasing him.
But are the blocks floating or anything?
Yeah,
no, you just weren't on a block.
Yeah, you're not on a block. You're down at the entrance.
You can get on one now if you want to.
If you look around the room, the blocks are floating in the lava.
Yeah.
I'll just grapple Jemmery and add him onto this pile.
Okay, I would have you roll, but Jemmery can't succeed, so you grapple him.
Okay, and
the crit doesn't do it.
Huh? No.
Crit failed the crit. Holy shit.
I'm just gonna go and get on the block.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you fly up to a block. Yep.
And I'm gonna finish my countdown from when I started earlier.
But I can't move! You have me grappled!
I will use item 404 on his hat. Say goodbye to your hat.
No!
I told you!
What hat? What are you talking about?
I believe that item 404 only targets non-magical objects, correct?
I think the hat's non-magical, Pete.
The hat was the magic that's preventing Jeremy from being burned by lava.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Just throw him into the lava.
Just a second. Yeah, non-magical, non-living thing. I don't think you can actually get the hat.
You actually can't get the hat.
Oh. What can I get? Oh. Does his rabbit count?
No, it's a
also
living
very much a living thing / magic. Both.
You say, oh shit.
Okay, I'll get rid of his diaper then.
That you can definitely do.
Oh, it's very humiliating. Why are you doing this? It's so rude.
I told you.
Jemmery starts to cry. Fluffy, it's your turn. Your friends were just next to you, but they just flew away.
Alright, give me that lava down.
At the start of your turn, yeah.
Oh,
So mean, baby. Oh my god.
19, you up still? Was it enough?
Yep.
he's still up.
Excellent.
What would you
I
like
cast
to do?
water walk on all my friends.
Okay, yeah, you can walk on top of the lava, no problem with that.
Yeah, good idea.
Bonus action, Essence of the Storm. I want to turn into a cloud.
Alright, you are now just a vapor floating in the space.
I want to just float away.
Yep.
Had enough.
You float to safety.
Very good.
Anything else you'd like to do?
No, that's it.
Okay. Jemmery's gonna go. Jemmery spends his action crying, and then is going to summon 3 sharks.
Oh god.
Fine, the sharks will kill you. And we're gonna roll a d20 plus their dexterity. Actually, I didn't say their name. They got a 13, which means they go immediately.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no. We got 3 sharks. I think one's gonna go at each of you guys, right?
Does any land near my bear?
One of them definitely. Yeah, okay, so we'll see if they go for one of you guys or the bear, because Fluffy, you're a cloud. They're not gonna attack you.
I was
so
wondering if we could attack a shark if it came out.
They never suspect the cloud.
I don't think it can do that as a reaction. Right?
Yeah, there would be no reason that would...
Oh, but it didn't take an action on his turn, so...
You know what? I think it's fair to say it would take a ready to action.
Yeah, ready to action.
Attack, whatever. So go ahead.
Alright, so it's gonna bite at one of the sharks.
Alright, that's gonna be how much damage? 22? That actually could kill one of the sharks.
Oh wait, it does not, unfortunately.
No,
As the
wow, these sharks have a lot of HP.
as the claws rake into the shark's body. The shark is still looking pretty healthy, actually. These are some great
No,
whites.
he's actually looking pretty shitty still after that, but it's up.
We're going 1 HP.
Yeah, so I rolled the D4 already, so we're going to 4, which is actually the bear needs to roll 1. And then Lance needs to roll 1. And then Selcress needs to roll 1. And those are the 3 laser beams.
Okay.
So Lance looks,
I'm assuming this is magic.
this is absolutely magic.
Yep.
Spell guard.
Oh shit! Your
Nice.
spell guard shield. Nice. Farva, unfortunately,
Selcress
gonna
should
fail.
get advantage on magical things because of Levi.
Farva bites onto
Anything?
the laser
Did you do
cannon and it just blasts.
And
What is?
there's
If Levi's within a certain range, she gets no magic resistance.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and make that roll.
Dex, right?
Alrighty, so nothing happens to you, Selcress. However, and nothing happens to you, Lance. However, unfortunately, Farva.
Less, fuck you.
Oh yeah, Farva's not blessed.
He isn't?
No, it's the polar bear that got targeted, not Farku, not Fawkes. Unfortunately, the polar bear is struck by a laser beam and disintegrates.
Oh, what?
The struggle. Alrighty, we are on to Selcress.
On to Selcress.
Yep. So
First,
Chris,
have to pay respect, everyone.
F for Farva.
I know, David, you're a cat.
Press F to pay respects.
Yep.
You know, I'll throw it in there.
Sure.
Like, Selcress, what would you like to do?
She's gonna get out of the pile.
How does Peter Rabbit look?
You can walk
Peter
on
Rabbit
the
has barely been hit.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
very bad.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
You can walk on the lava currently.
Yeah, she's just walking out of the pile at this point.
All right.
Just
And
jumps off my shoulders.
she's gonna
Peter
sick
Rabbit.
Levi on the rabbit because she's done. So Levi is going to make claw attack.
15 hits. 27 crit definitely hits.
Ooh,
And
there we go,
Selcress-
Levi.
For a
Yeah.
total of 29 points of damage. Well, now he's starting to get hurt.
Yeah, and Selcress is gonna throw in 2 Eldritch Blasts of her own.
The 21 hits. Another 3. You watch as you strike into Peter Rabbit with his successive blows.
You know-
The slashes rip more and more, kind of cotton away, and he's kind of freezing in points from your Eldritch Blast.
The damage should be adding my charisma modifier. Agonizing Blast.
You
Oh.
have that.
Agonizing Blast.
Yeah, so that should be a 7.
So add another 4 on that.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay, Eldritch Blast is one of those abilities that's kind of funky when you actually put it in roll 20. Doesn't always-
Ow! 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 He says.
And
Anything
Peter
else
Rabbit-
on your turn? Or good. In that case, Peter Rabbit, who's still kind of still grappling Lance, is just gonna hug Lance.
Oh no.
It's a 23 and a 31.
23.
Oh my god.
See.
Ugh, just barely misses. Oh, and 42 is a brutal one with almost max damage. 43 being max damage, for a grand total of 67 points of bludgeoning damage as he just is squeezing and crushing you.
I am
Since you were,
unconscious. Bless. No.
he sinks into the lava because you were walking on top of it, as you also would sink into the lava.
No, water walking doesn't actually end.
Oh, awesome! So you're just kind of laying face first on lava.
It doesn't hurt him at all.
And you're good. But Peter Rabbit is definitely hurt by it, so he is going to make a con save, which he succeeds to take half damage. 9. And he's now just kind of like swimming in the lava, barely kind of keeping his head above water. And that's all for his turn.
Drow,
Roll me a
cottontail.
death saving throw? Holy shit.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's your death save. My cat really
Woot woot.
wants that.
All right. That is going to bring us to
Lair action.
lair action.
No.
So much.
And that is all for the lair, which is going to bring us to Fawkes. I need you to roll me a d4.
Oh my god. Stop! This fight's lasting way too long.
You're fine.
It's going long, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. You guys have not taken down an important target. That is all for the lair. Fawkes, what do you want to do?
Whew, okay, I will lay on hands Lance for 1 HP. So he's up.
The sweet smell of burning alive coffee.
Slap him in the face, pour some alcohol on him. Okay, you feel better. Alright, let's get back to fighting! I will use my bonus action to I don't know what to do anymore. I will use my bonus. Oh, wait, I'm grappling. What's his face, right? Jemmery.
Jemmery, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we're just all here. I'll just stand there awkwardly, not sure what to do. End my turn. Lance, you're up.
Lance.
You said that Fluffy's turn, though.
Oh yeah, it's Fluffy.
Lance is conscious, but it's Fluffy's turn.
As a guest, do I have to roll a d3?
I don't
Yep.
think so. Really?
Oh wait, as a
In
as a
the
gas-
gaseous form?
yeah, it still
Okay.
affects you. Yep.
Okay, I got a 2.
There, you're good.
So Lance is up. Alright, since it's gas thing's at will, I'll just come out of it and stand on top of the lava. Are the sharks, by chance, in a nice, line? Or within 10 feet sort of each other line?
We're going to see how RNG says. The higher this number is, the better it's going to be. Now, you can probably get like 1 or 2 of them in a
Yeah,
line.
you can get 2.
Well, you can always get 1. What kind of dumb response is that for me?
Screw it. Let's just cast Confusion on, what if how about for a 10-foot radius Confusion? How many can I get?
You can get
I
all
think
the
you
sharks
still-
in that.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You sure?
Contrast.
Oh wait, no, that's right. I used my 4th level and the polymorph that fucked up. Never mind. Alright, tidal wave on 2 of the sharks.
Oh no. There's gonna be a horrible hissing sound as all the lava gets fucking. Oh no.
Oh, the sharks are doing it like.
Well, the bright side is the one that saved had 6 hit points left because of Farvo the bear. The one that failed just got crushed to death by a tidal wave. As your wave smashes down upon them, and they are just kind of encased in stone.
As a bonus action, I turn back into a cloud.
Throw 'em out.
And float further away.
I think it actually is a bonus action to transform back from the cloud, right?
Is it? Bonus
I
form, you do double
think
damage
so.
as per the gaseous form rules. Let's look at gaseous form.
While we figure that out, we can
we'll
move on
figure it out.
initiative.
Don't worry about
So that is going to bring us then to Jemmery.
it. To Jemmery. Jemmery can't do anything anymore. Everyone,
He's
I guess he can buff. He can't cast spells because Fawkes took all his stuff. Yeah, he's got nothing.
Yep, fair enough.
Jemmery's up to fight.
He's a useless
However,
kid.
The last remaining shark can do something.
It's concentration, so you just have to aim concentration, not bonus action, so I can recast it.
Oh, there you go. It will fire at. That's going to be Fawkes 6, because Fluffy was in gash form, and it doesn't really. It's a shark.
Dex save.
Dexterity saving throw, Mr. Sakes.
He can target me even with Sanctuary and still that.
It is not an
does-
attack, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what is the wording on Sanctuary?
If I'm targeted. Hold on.
Doesn't affect area of effects, but if it's targeting him directly, Sanctuary applies.
4 harmful. Okay.
All right, well, let me roll a Wisdom save for the shark, and this is a very important Wisdom save, huh?
Yeah,
What's the
please. 15.
Isn't the shark kind of, you know?
Oh no! What was that?
Isn't the shark in stone now?
No, 2 of them were destroyed, but the third
Oh, right.
one is still
Did I-
swimming around.
Use my inspiration to roll again.
Oh, that's true. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, still not enough. That's 30 points of force damage.
That's exactly my HP.
Oh god! It's hit by a beam of disintegration.
Wait. Oh, I remember the banner. I didn't add that. How much temp HP did that give me?
10 temp HP.
So I'm down to 20. No, I'm down to 10. Okay.
You're alive.
As the beam,
He didn't think he would need the bear.
That one disintegrated me, man.
you see his form flicker, but no, Fawkes barely holds strong.
Holding on to your cape. Oh my god.
Fluffy. Oh wait, it's not Fluffy. I thought it was Selcress.
Selcress, roll a d2.
Oh boy.
I'm happy to go again if you want.
You're okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh.
No, stop! Stop! No!
That's so ridiculous. All right. Selcress, what do?
What do? Is there a shark still alive?
There's a shark still alive. There is a Peter Rabbit still alive.
Okay.
There's a Jemmery immortal.
Yeah, well,
Can
that's...
we even see the rabbit is in lava?
The rabbit's like floundering and going.
Can you get affected by the tidal wave?
Uh,
He was not in the title.
no, because he wanted to kill the 2 sharks.
Okay. Then Selcress is going to try and blast the shark.
Oh, the last shark? That'll hit.
Yeah,
It is still up, but in bad shape.
that's more like it. And the other one.
Oh, there you go.
And you kill that the last
No
shark.
longer out.
And now, guess who can fight fire in fire? Levi's gonna go.
Levi goes for...
Yeah, and he's going to attack the rabbit.
Hits,
with all of his-
hits. All those hit. For 12 for 23 points of damage. All right.
How's Peter Rabbit looking now?
He's starting to look pretty beat up.
Alrighty. As we move to the last person initiative, Peter Rabbit.
Actually, he's looking pretty beat up. And Peter Rabbit is going to move over to you, Fawkes, who is on the brink of death, and give you a nice big hug.
No.
A 16, I assume, misses, and a 20.
Well, they both missed, but Sanctuary hit it.
Oh, he needed to make a wisdom save, which he failed, so he can't attack you. And instead, that 16 and 20 then are against the nearest target to you, which would be
Jemmery.
He's not gonna attack
He's not going to attack Jemmery.
What? He's
But it's
just
going
gonna
to
give him
be
a
against
hug.
Lance, which I think both of those miss you, Lance.
Yes, they do.
All right. In that case, that is all for Peter Rabbit's turn. Oh, and at the start of his turn, he needed to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, he did.
Which he fails.
And he's going to take another. As he's burning up very quickly now in the lava, his fur is scorched. He's nearing his demise. And Lance, at the start of your turn, you would roll a d1, but instead, I need you to make me a Wisdom saving throw.
No!
Let's hope this has a different outcome than a D1.
So you succeed on the saving throw. However, you still do take half of that damage in psychic damage, as you suffer a grand total of, I can't do math at all, 13 points. 13 points of psychic damage.
I am unconscious again.
Oh no.
As Lance falls once more, it is now Selcress and Fawkes. Oh no, Fluffy's also still up as a gas. That is all.
The lair.
Oh, the lair is again. Oh god, the train. It's gonna be Lance and Fawkes. I need both of you to make dex saves.
Lance? Oh shit.
Oh, this is bad.
That's gonna just be a fail for Lance. He's unconscious.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Never mind. Selcress and Fawkes is what makes sense.
Sure.
Alrighty.
The 14 is not quite enough. Fawkes 6, you are fine.
Bless still up?
You got my aura though, so 17.
I don't know if the two of you are within 5 feet of each other or 10 feet of each other.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bless is down now, right?
Yeah, the
Yes.
left is down because Lance is down. So that's going to be 30 points of bludgeoning damage as the train smacks into you, Selcress, knocking you prone, knocking you back 15 feet, and hitting you for a ton of damage.
That is going to all be transferred to Levi again.
Which I suspected would be the case.
Poor Levi.
As Levi, you see his body once again just
Hang in there.
twists.
Hang in there, Levi.
What is Levi at?
He's on barbed devil HP, so he's at
He's looking pretty good still. All right, that is going to be all for the lair. That brings us to. Oh my God, this fight is ridiculous. That's going to bring us to.
Sword that cuts the heavens.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. We're going back up. I'll grab Lance, and I guess I'll grab Selcress if she likes.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
I'll hug Selcress.
No.
Keep the horn. And I'll fly up 60 feet.
Why would you do it?
Oh, geez, Peter Rabbit's just gonna drown in the lava.
And I will just like I will cast lay on hands on Lance. End my turn. For 1 HP, Lance, you're up.
This would be a highly effective interrogation method.
What do you like to do?
I'm sorry, my friend.
Hey in there, Lance.
Fluffy?
I can't have a peon die on me.
Let's try this. I guess I'll just fly up another 10 feet and then shoot Peter Rabbit with my essence of the storm shot.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Thunder!
As you thunder, that's going to hit. For 12 points of thunder damage, as Peter Rabbit is looking really beat up at this point.
And does he count as a construct by chance?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
When a hit does double damage to structures, I'm not sure if that counts as con with him.
No, it's not.
Yeah, he's not a structure.
Damn. Oh well.
Those are discreet. Anything else?
I can't cast spells in this form, so nope.
All right.
There are no sharks left.
Jemmery is out of
I don't know if you
gas.
got another one of those channel divinities in you, but
Does Jemmery have any buffs or anything?
Let's see. No, Jemmery can't cast spells. Fawkes took his wand.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have the wand.
He doesn't have shit.
That's gonna bring us then to
He's
Selcress.
just crying and punching Fawkes weakly,
That's so sad.
throwing a tantrum.
But I have no pity.
you know, I'll just slap some tape onto his mouth.
There's a couple Eldritch Blasts going for Peter the Bunny Rabbit.
Those are both gonna miss.
Alright,
Levi, finish him off.
Oh god.
so Levi's going to do this.
17 hits. There's one more, isn't there?
Yeah.
And
Oh, there we go.
that one also hits for a total of 19. Oh, he's hanging on. He's hanging on still.
No. All right, Peter Rabbit's turn.
Make him give the thumbs up. Make him give the thumbs up. As he burns in the lava.
He's gonna make a con save. Which he fails.
Peter, no!
Oh god! And as he looks up at you, Jemmery, just ice, and he falls and gets burned up and incinerated within the lava. Which means that as of this, Jemmery, you are the only threat remaining.
And a threat Jemmery is not. As
Selcress
in
is
the end
gonna
of it
bonk
all,
him on the head.
Jemmery is a baby.
We all just surround him and kick the shit out of this baby.
And you just fucking beanbag the baby. You
What
hacky
the- I
sack the
wouldn't do
baby.
that.
Play some football.
I was gonna cast
That's
Charm
what
Person.
you get for being mean. That's my job. Let
We
you
are-
never
we are
forget
pretty
I am the
ruthless.
Meanypants.
We are ruthless. We're the real Meanypants here.
Lance heals
And-
us all up.
Lance heals you all up. Fluffy tries to convince you guys not to beat the shit out of a child. You all beat the shit out of a child instead. Fluffy, you eventually charm Jemmery
The
into
reality of myth tier.
reducing the lava level so you can all escape. And
I wonder if he wants to live in my forest. It's peaceful there.
This is my secret
No.
lair now, Jemmery.
Jemmery just tells you, just wait until next year. I'll wreck everything. I'll win.
No.
I'm the best.
I look forward to next year when Jemmery has like an anchor tattoo and an eye patch from being in jail.
Yes. And he smokes a baby cigar.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And I think with that, each of you earn
I'll be the best.
each of you earn 300 Bartholomew bucks. Each of you earn 2 points of experience as you have completed this very, very long myth tier adventure.
I'll help him out with a drink from my flask and see him off.
Indeed, congratulations on your victory. And
Yay!
with
I need
each
some nap time back at my castle.